Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Pomming Around with me, Alex E. Morgan. So, yeah, we're in Adelaide now. We're in Adelaide for the Fringe Festival. So, if you listen to my previous episodes, I revealed that I was offered a job working as an event manager slash showrunner with my friend Ollie and with a lady called Sharon. Um, yeah, so the first week, yeah, it's been about a week now. I flew in Thursday and it started Friday, and now today we're Friday the 28th. And yeah, it's been really fun. The first week is always the hardest, especially the weekends. Um, yeah, it was just so chaotic, especially like I was working simultaneously, like I was working for Ollie and Sharon, and that was it was always since the beginning it was very ambiguous, like what was my job or how I worked for both of them at the same time, and it showed, especially the first week. um yeah, it was like it was kind of tough, but I managed to do it. I managed to get it done, but yeah, it was very tough. But now I feel like I've got my groove, I've got my rhythm. I think everything's getting better now. And also, like the rooms were badly set up, and the comedians weren't happy, and the audience members weren't too pleased. Like they were getting really hard, they were getting crammed in. But now, how they set up the room, and like for example, the AC wasn't working. Like on the first weekends, the AC, and it was like, and Sharon was with me. I was with a guy called Terry who it's gonna be his last French, sadly. But yeah, he's too old. He can't even walk up the stairs without taking a breath halfway through. But and yesterday he wasn't working. I saw him. He was like lifting up speakers by himself. Oh well, I saw him. I should have. It's not like yeah. Of course, if I saw him, if I knew he was gonna do that, I would have helped him. But yeah, it's been kind of chaotic. But it's always fun. Like I've seen some like there's some shows at the Gluttony, which is like a park in Adelaide, and they have these tents, and it feels like a carnival. It's really like magical. There's like these little huts and these little yachts, and there's like food trucks and beer beer stands and just drink stands and lemonade carts, and it feels like you're in like a carnival, like a circus, and in each one of these little venues there's a show happening, and especially like there's like it's not just full stand up, there's like other artistic performance, like there's magic, there's cabaret, there's burlesque, there's like theater, clowning, and it's really fun to just be there. It really is. And during the day, there's a lot of families, and that's where I fly up for the weekend shows. Because the weekend shows, it's mostly like family friendly shows, so like no swearing or like no like dark material. And so yeah, I fly there, but it's very good. You know, people that go there, they're with big families, and they're already going to see a show, so they're interested. I feel like they're interested because they're with their kids and they don't want to be mean to someone in front of their kids. So of course, they take the flyer and they ask questions about the show. And also, kids seem interested by. There's a show we do called Kids Can Heckle, and the name is so good. Like when I say it, like parents laugh and kids are like, "Oh, why is it heckle? Why is it heckle?" And then you find ways of like flyering to people, like to get people more interested in your flyer. And so, like, the question I would ask would be like, if a kid looks at me and I look at the kids and he's looking at the flyer, and I'll just say to him, "Hey, are you funnier than comedian?" And often they would be like, "Yeah, yeah, I'm funnier than comedian. I'm funnier than comedian." I was like, "Oh, do you want to roast one for an hour?" And then by then the parents would be like, "Oh, that's funny," and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I want to do that. I want to do that." And then a little joke I say to the parents is, "Oh, come on, give yourselves a little break, you know, let them roast somebody else for once," and that gets them laughing. But yeah, Adelaide's nice. So yeah, as I said, I arrived here Thursday, and you know, when I was in Perth, I heard things about Adelaide, just like it was like a boring town, like nothing else happens, and you know, yeah, but like I feel maybe it's because of the fringe, but I feel like there's a lot of things happening. But I think it's mainly because of the comedy festival or the arts festival. There's always like there's always like bars that are open or like as I mentioned, there's the gluttony, but there's also the Garden of Unearthly Delights, which looks good. So like I went around it. I think I might go there because Ross Noble he's performing there, so I'm definitely gonna go and see him. And but there's also the courtyard of curiosities. It's a similar thing, but very small. There's only like three venues, but there's like a gallery, there's a chapel, and there's a little hut, and they do comedy shows. But I think there it's more drag and cabaret and clowning. I don't think there's not a lot of stand up there. But yeah, I went there. I went there the other night at the courtyards. Jeremiah Detto, uh, a friendly acquaintance. I went to his flowering course when I was in Perth, and he taught me like a few skills about flowering. But also, I went to see his show Mush when I was in Perth, and that was a really good show. I highly recommend him if you're in Adelaide, or if you see him perform, definitely go and see him. But yeah, he invited me. He said, oh yeah, that he would be hanging around there. And I went there, and it was pretty cheap for the artist pass. It was like €10 or $10, and you get two drinks from the Hendrix carts. Yeah, so Hendrix, which is a gin. I was so excited. I was like, oh my god, I want to have a gin and tonic. We only had gin and soda, like gin, no gin and soda water. So soda water is sparkling water. So they had gin and sparkling water, which is disgusting. Ah, it's the worst combination. Like, why ruin a good gin with sparkling water? Like, I don't really like sparkling water. I take it just because it has a different flavor than just plain water, and also it has like little bubbles, which is always like I don't know. I feel like because of like Coca-Cola and Fanta sparkling, it's a little different, wakes you up maybe. So I always get sparkling water, um, when I go to comedy shows, but never would I mix it with gin, especially a good gin like Hendrix. Like that's just disrespectful. But but they said they only had that left. Like I was talking to guys, I asked if they had tonic, and they were like, "Oh no, we ran out." Like, and I think he said like, "Oh, we ran out of 9 bottles." I was like, "Yeah, no shit, 9 bottles. Like, buy 20, buy 30. There you will have more bottles. Also, you just buy bottles of Schweppes, like these big bottles. Then you'll have plenty. Even I don't think 30 would do. No, man. But yeah, it's been fun. It's been good. It's been learning a lot. Yes, Ollie as a present for my work at the Perth Fringe, he bought me a 2-day clown class with Elf Lyons. So Elf Lyons, she's like a comedian slash clown. She she's like she's very this tall British posh lady with short red hair, very attractive, and yeah, so she apparently very apparently it was very expensive the classes because when Ollie was telling me that he wanted to buy it for me for as a present for Perth, his company were like, yeah, that's too much money, and they were like, okay, well, it will be for Adelaide as well, so it's a present for Perth and Adelaide. Um, but yeah, it was really fascinating. I learned a lot. Um, when I was in Paris, I didn't like the clownings, like the clowns that much, just because it was like they would always come to like open mics and they would have it's that weird combination of like the stand-ups didn't like the clowns and the clowns didn't like the stand-ups, and well, it was not like we didn't like them, it's just like we didn't like their performance. It was either like, so it would always be at like open mics where either people would love the clowns more than the stand-ups, and the stand-ups would be like, oh my god, they can't even write a joke, like fucking, they're pretending to be a pea or a pineapple or a minotaur on stage, uh, and but then afterwards, on the flip side, it would be like the clowns would hate the stand-ups because it'd be like, why would we care about your opinion? Like, your jokes are hack. You're just a derivative of something else before. But what they're doing is a derivative of something else before as well. But like it's clowning. It's meant to be different. It's meant to be personal. But it's all the same thing. But yeah, it was really. But the clown class was really fun. Like it taught me a lot about getting over the flop. The flop is what they call a bomb. So when a joke or when a, a thing you do doesn't land, doesn't get a laughter or initiated response or reaction. So that they call that the flop. But also eye contact. Um, yeah, commitment to a bit. Repetition, um, going too far sometimes. Yeah, I didn't think when you're at the class at the lesson or at the session, there were people that had like a natural ability or talent for clowning. Like they just felt so comfortable or so confident in their body that when they did something, they did it with like commitment and confidence and determination, and it really worked well. Like you'll get really good like responses. I'm not like that. I'm very uh shy when it comes to like moving my body. I think I'm unsure of myself, but it's something. But then I didn't move a lot on stage. But there were like I was just thinking like there was a bit that when I first started out, there was a joke that I used to do about cigarettes and how like I quit smoking, yet if I ever find a packet of cigarettes on the floor, I'm definitely gonna like pick it up and smoke it. And there was a bit that I would do is like how I'd pick it up would be very funny. Like I'd like move my hips and like my body. Maybe I should like now that I've learnt a bit of clowning, I should bring it back. Yeah, I was thinking about that. I was thinking about that for my 1 hour show because I had this whole bit about this whole bit. I have a few jokes about smoking or about cigarettes, and that was a bit that I was never fully confident with, like looking for a packet of cigarettes, like finding a packet of cigarettes on the floor, and you know, but maybe now that I know like some techniques, I should do it, give it a go again. But yeah, but I haven't performed in a long time now. I haven't performed in like a month, or I haven't had a proper show yet. Like I haven't had like a really good. I've had some good. Oh yeah, I did perform on five headliners, and that was a 5 minute bit. But I need to write more about Australians. I haven't done much yet. Um, yeah, I still need to do more. But yeah, I went. So Elf Lyons' class. Uh, yeah, very good, very fun. She's very positive, very nice, but she's also very honest and very direct with her observations. Like she'll just be like, yeah, that why didn't like she would ask you questions like why that didn't work, and you would have to answer why, or she'd be like, oh, go around, she'd be like more commit to the bits, eye contact. But she's very nice. Just after lesson, after work, she was performing her solo show called Horses, which was very good as well. Like I could see the elements of the clowning, or I guess the elements, like her whole show is about clowning, but it was really good. It was about kind of reconnecting with your playful childhood. This whole show is about like her, playing with her siblings as horses when they were kids, and they don't do that anymore. And she wants to go back to a time where you can still be playful and just have fun, be silly. And it kind of reminded me of it kind of like the whole show was about horses, so she would play different horses, and it was great. And it kind of reminded me of a story that I wrote when I was a kid called Two Horses Go Bad. And it's a terrible story. I wrote it when I was like back in England, so I was like probably like 4 or 5. Two Horses Go Bad, and I don't remember. I just remembered like it was about like these two horses. One of them was called Spike, and they were like pulling this carriage, and I think all of a sudden they got scared, and they got scared, and they got away. They like they released themselves from the carriage, and they were scared, and so they had to try and find them again. But I believe my parents, especially I think my mum kept the story. I need to ask her about it. But yeah, it'll be good to read. It will be funny to read that again. It'll be funny to read that again. Um, but yeah, it was really interesting. It was really good. Uh, so yeah, if you're in the again, same as Jeremiah did say, if you see Elf Lyons performing, I would definitely go and see her. Um, but it's quite funny, she kind of does remind me of the clowns in Paris. She'll always be like, oh, Philippe Gaulier would always say the what is it? The clown is the puppy, and the what's the other one called? There's the clown, and there's not the fool. The difference between the clown and the fuck. I'm gonna have to look it up. It's a French word. Um, difference between clown and difference between clown and jester. No, joker. No. It's the bitch you want. It's the She'll always be like, oh my god, I have such a shoddy memory. I hate it. It's so annoying. All types of clowns. That's really it. Trump, hobo, clown. No, it's not that. That's it. That's all. Literally. Okay. No, okay, I forgot it. It will come back to me. It will come back to me. You have to be more like the. Oh, it's gonna bug me. Oh, this must be so annoying if you're listening to this. But nobody's gonna listen to it, so it's fine. You just need to practice. That's what it is. But it's annoying me. But yeah, okay, I'll try and think of something else because I can't do this. But yeah, it was fun. It was quite. We were sitting in the front row, and I didn't think it made it awkward, but I do remember times they were laughing. She was looking at me, and I was like, oh, I should not sit in the front row. You should never sit. If you know somebody performing, you should never sit in the front row. That's something. That's like a rule in comedy. And but like we were there early, but it's also good to sit in the front row. Like there's so many when you like show running and you're trying to sit people. Not a lot of people want to sit in the front row, and obviously it's intimidating. You know, they're just so close to you, but you have so much of a better experience just because there's no one in front of you. It's just you and the comedian. As long as you're like laughing and you're not like pulling a face and you're not like, you're gonna have a fun time. Like people are just so scared. I think they're like scared to get made fun of, which is obvious. You know, you come there to come to comedy show. But afterwards, when you do kind of as a comedian, when you do interact with your audience, they're not that kind of like scared. They feel fine afterwards. It's always that thing of like going first or something. You know, it's like you're always scared. You're like, oh no, I don't want to do it. But like once you've done it, you're like, oh okay, it wasn't that bad. You know, it's a bit like that. It's like you're sitting in front row. You're like, oh my god, they're gonna pick on me. It's like no, we want you to have a good time. And often also with me, when I talk to the audience, it's not to like make fun of them. It's just more to get like an answer. Like I'll ask a question like, hey, do you run or what kind of running, when do you run or what times or are you on dating apps or are you, what do you think about this and stuff like that. And so it's mostly more like that. And afterwards, depending on what they'll say, of course I'll make a joke or I'll react to something. But like I didn't have like a, oh yeah, I'm gonna fucking roast this person. Um, but yeah, it's fun, it's good. But yeah, I haven't been writing. I need to keep continue writing. Yesterday was, but yeah, that's what they say. I need to visit. Like so, yeah, it's been a week since I've been in Adelaide, and yeah, I haven't done much. Haven't There's loads of things I need to do, but right now, the clown and the bouffon. That's it. The clown and the bouffon. So yeah, she was saying like, Elf Lyons, she would always be like, oh yeah, when we study, when we were at college, Philip would always say, the clown is like a puppy, he is excited, he does a, he is excited all the time, whereas the buffon is more like a wild animal, like a fox, and you would be more skitty, more fuck you to the audience. And 20 years in France, and that's my best French accents. But yeah, I had a good connection with one of the guys at the course. It's a guy named John, and I don't know. We just had good rapport, like on stage. Like there was this exercise where we have to do, and it's one of these things. Like the thing that I'm scared about clowning is that often the exercises I don't understand what you should do. But that's the thing. That's the purpose of the exercises. Just do what's your first impulse. Don't think. And I feel like I'm thinking too much. And there was an exercise. It's just like you two are on stage, and you just do whatever. Just perform a show, but you have to um, look at each other from time to time and look at the audience. So that's the thing. It's either you look at the audience or you're looking at each other. And I think two two couples went up before us, and I thought, who was the first couple? Oh yeah, it was Lauren and Shady, I believe, and then it was Ollie and uh, what was it Carmen, Car- Carmel. They were very good. Like I think like Shady and Lauren, they did like this ballroom dance, which was very good, and they did like these cauliflower hands or these flower hands. These, or how, as Carmel put it, these Dragon Ball Z's, power move, Kame Kame. And that was very funny, and they have very expressive faces, so that was very funny. Ollie and Carmel, they were more conservative. Like didn't touch each other. They just walked up and down. I think like Carmel, she's very like a diva. Like I saw her the first time I saw her was at the huts at the courtyard of curiosities, and she is very much like this. She was hosting a comedy show, and she had she was dressed like in these 1920s, the hair, and the dress, and I think she had like a cigarette holder in her hands. If she didn't, she should have had one because that's the style that she had, and she's very like diva-esque, like um, I don't take any bullshit from you. You listen to me, you know. And in the clowning, she did have that attitude, and she played that very well. Um, so yeah, with her and Ollie, it wasn't that fun. But then afterwards, when me and John went on, people loved it just because, like, I don't know, for some reason we were just like, how I felt it was like we were trying to like be this monster, like this two-headed monster, where we were trying to like combine our bodies together, and we were looking at the audience and then looking at us, and we were just like, and people loved it. They were just like, oh, it's so funny to see like these two guys on stage being so close to each other, keeping this. You'd keep like really long eye contact. That's what I was saying. You're keeping long eye contact, and it was like funny to see these guys be kind of like somewhat intimate with each other, and it was like, it was very nice to see. And he's a nice guy. Like I'm probably gonna have drinks with him. Uh, and yeah, they were. Everybody was like, "Oh yeah, you two should have like a show together. Like it would work so well." But yeah, I'm not interested in clowning. But yeah, it is very fun. Mm, yeah. Stop it here and do another 20 minutes. Okay, I'm gonna stop it here. Uh, and I'm gonna record another one just after. Okay, so I'll see you soon. Adios, amigos.